Cynthia Zhai is a voice coach, speaker, and author. She has helped business professionals and professional speakers from 46 different countries across 5 continents with their voice to speak with impact and conviction. She engages and inspires people to embrace change and take action. Cynthia has been a professional speaker and coach for the past 17 years. Her engagement spans countries such as U.S.A, Finland, the Netherlands, Argentina, Spain, Portugal, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, mainland China, India, Brunei, Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines. Good morning, Cynthia. I'm so glad to have you on the show today. I'm excited to ask you some questions.
Thank you. Good morning, Curtis.
I know you've been extremely successful literally all over the world, 46 different countries, and you've taught people with you've taught speakers and all kinds of business professionals and had an incredible career. So I'm really glad that you took the time to share with our audience on the show today.
Sure. It's my pleasure.
Let me ask you a few questions here. First off, what is your personal definition of success?
My personal definition for success is that we are doing, that's the most important thing. Firstly is that we are doing things that we really love to do. And because if you're not doing things you love to do, even if you make a whole lot of money, you're not happy. That's not success. So that's the first thing. And the second thing about success is you are doing something you love, but at the same time that you are also handsomely paid. So you cannot doing things you love, but you are poor. So you're also not going to serve more people. So those will be the two main things that when I consider what's success.
That's a great combination. I have a lot of very successful people that have been on the podcast have said that it's all typically a very similar answer, that they want to do something that helps people or makes them happy or betters the world.
Yeah.
But I like that you added, you also need to be paid well for the work that you're doing to qualify it as success. So
yes,
that's a great thought. We're on the same wavelength there.
There's a saying by one of my mentors. He said, "You cannot teach other people about light if you cannot pay your light bill."
I love that. That's a great saying. I might steal that and post that on our on the success group online.
Sure.
Can you share the steps that you take daily to improve?
Come again?
Can you share with us some steps you take every day to improve?
Sure. So every day, because now that I have spent some time every year, I spend some time to learn something new. So in the morning, that what I would do is, right now I am learning French, the language.
Oh, wow.
So every morning I will spend about 15, sometimes if I have more time, 15 to 30 minutes of learning French. And also I spend about 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. So that's what I do every morning.
That's awesome. Yeah, making the decision to do something every single day to better yourself is another common thing that I see with a lot of very successful people. What made you choose French as the next language you were gonna learn?
Oh, I was traveling in Europe so many times, and then last year I spent some time on vacation there. And then I realized that I want to learn this language. And plus that, the more I learn, the more I realize language is really something that's reflecting the culture, the history. And when I learn about French, I've learned about the French culture, the French history. So I think compared to other languages, it is a beautiful language.
That's awesome. What advice would you give to someone making an important decision?
The first thing is also how I make important decisions. And I found it helpful. And I would recommend that everyone can take it into consideration, which is that I always ask myself that if this is something that I really want to do, and if I don't do it, will I regret it? So that's the key questions that I would ask someone to ask themselves.
Okay, that's great advice. Um, can you tell me about a specific path that or can you tell me about a specific moment that set you on the path that you're on now?
Sure. There are quite a few moments. So the first was that when I was working for a company, and that was about 11 years ago. So when I was working for the company, I wanted to do something that I can have more autonomy on. But I was very afraid to start something on my own. And so it was something that I had been pondering for over a year, that whether I should start my own business. And so the very moment, what helped me to decide was that I saw some of my friends who were able to start their own business, no matter whether it was successful or not at the time, but they had the courage to start their own business. So that was one of the moments that set me on the path. And what made me decide on the voice was that because in my early career, I was working on my own voice. So I was not heard. I was not assertive. And so that actually gave me the push that, oh, when I worked on my voice, I want more people to benefit from it. So those
That's
are the two major moments.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you could recommend one book for our audience, what would that book be?
There are so many books I would like to recommend, but if it's only one, I would recommend. And that book is still having influence on me. So that book is a classic, which is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
That's awesome. I've read that book over and over, literally until the pages were falling out. I'm
Yeah.
on another copy now, but
Yes.
um,
So
I think
even a few weeks ago, I was attending an event. The speaker said, "What makes a good networker?" So the immediate response I had was, you have to care about other people genuinely. And then later on, when I reflect on my comment, I was thinking, oh, that was from the book. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that is one of my favorite books all the time. I'll put a link to that in the description of your show notes here.
sure.
Um, what character traits do you value the most?
Um, Integrity. So I think integrity is not only in that the way we do things, that we need to be having this integrity, but also that integrity even include the decision that we make. So whether you are making this decision based on this is something that you want to do instead of based on serving other purposes. So integrity is really in every area of our lives. And so this is also something that I've learned from my dad, who had a very strong influence on me about integrity.
Okay,
Mm.
that's awesome. Um, how do you push through tough times?
Um, so the first, so the first reaction, I think, like probably most people, that I get frustrated first, and then I realize, oh, this is another lesson that the universe wants me to learn. So instead of keeping getting frustrated, then I pause and then I look at, okay, what is it that the universe really wants me to learn? So even though sometimes I couldn't figure out, then I would seek for help. So that's why that I am constantly investing in myself to improve myself, and also so that I can see things that I couldn't see.
Okay. Um, now this is an easier question. What inspires you?
What inspires me, one is the stories that other people have, like how they have overcome not just one challenge, but constant challenges life gives us, and how they can get out of it and become a better person. So the stories from other people.
Okay. I love inspiring stories.
Yeah.
How do you manage and prioritize opportunities?
Um, so first is will this opportunity help me improve my ability to serve other people better? That will be the first question that I ask myself. And again, another question that if I don't take it, will I regret it?
Okay, I like that thought process. One more question for you. What advice, if you could go back, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
So probably go out more to the society, because the 18 years old was still in college, and I was still wrapping up my head around schools, around studies. So I wasn't really getting to the society that much. So if I had any advice to give to the 18 years old me, that would be my advice, to go out and make friends with people from the society.
Okay. Well, I know tens of thousands of people have benefited now from your coaching, your speaking, your training on teaching. So it looks like you've definitely made up for missing out on those connections in college when you're younger. What's the best way to get a hold of you if people are trying to contact you? Is that through powerfulexecutivevoice.com, or do you have other ways?
That's one. So the powerfulexecutivevoice.com, that's my website. People can get articles and some other resources on my website. But the best resource that I would recommend people go is my YouTube channel. So they can just go to YouTube and search Cynthia Voice Coach. And on my YouTube channel, there are over 150 videos. Each video is about 3 to 5 minutes, talking about some voice problems or voice techniques. And right now we have 20,000 subscribers. So
wow, that's amazing.
Hopefully we can reach 30,000 very soon.
Very cool. I'll put a link to your YouTube channel in our YouTube channel where we do your podcast episode here as well. So
sure. Thank you.
Well, I sure appreciate your time, and thank you so much for sharing your insight and your knowledge with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.